Do you remember straight-to-DVD Disney sequels? Most of them actually aired on Disney Channel, and my god, there's a lot of stinkers. Jungle Book 2, Peter Pan Return to Neverland, and that weird Beauty and the Beast mid-call or whatever that was. However, amidst that rubbish, absolute cinema can be found. Some straight-to-DVD sequels are peak and worthy of being called a sequel. One of those films is The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride. Unlike most straight-to-DVD sequels, this movie is safe to say is just as enjoyable as the original. Yes, the original Lion King is a timeless classic, literally one of Disney's best. But the sequel is not far from it. From the characters, story, animation, and even the songs, it doesn't even feel like a DVD sequel. This feels cinematic. So in today's video, we will be discussing what makes The Lion King 2 so great, basically me geeking out for a couple of minutes. The Lion King has one of the most iconic movie openings with the Circle of Life. At the end of the film, we see Simba and Nala presenting their newborn child. That is where The Lion King 2 starts off, with the presentation of their daughter, Kiara. The scene is accompanied by He Lives in You, which is no Circle of Life, but I believe it's a good enough song to get the job done and set up the movie. Just like the first movie, the first couple of minutes start off with Kiara as a child, like how the original started with Simba as a child. My favorite part about the scenes in this time frame is how well they characterize our main characters. I kid you not, Kiara is just a female version of young Simba, full of hope and desire for adventure. Meanwhile, Simba is the overprotective father that doesn't want his child going out alone. The movie really does a great job in showing Simba as someone who's trying to be Mufasa, but is not quite there yet. That's basically Simba's character arc in this movie. He's trying his best to be what Mufasa was to him, now that he has a child of his own. Simba's character is really well done. Usually in media, it's hard making the previous main character into a parent after his main story is done. Boruto. The Lion King 2 really makes Simba a compelling father figure who's just trying his best as a king and father. Unlike in The Lion Guard, where they completely butchered his character, he was just pretty much a whining, arrogant son of a bitch. Anyways, the plot mainly revolves around Kiara and her love interest, Kovu. She met Kovu when they were kids while she was out playing. She was late to realize though that she was already in the Outlands, the home of the big bads in The Lion King. Kovu is revealed to be adopted by Zira, who was Scar's lover. Now, about this Zira character. Oh wow, there's a lot. First of all, she is madly obsessed with Scar's ideology. She believes that the Pride Lands must be ruled with an authoritarian iron fist, and that the lions are the superior species, therefore everyone else is below them. She promotes this idea to the Outlanders, which are lions whom Simba banished. Know how Scar committed mass genocide? So, Zira and the Outlanders are pretty much furry Nazis. Zira, being Scar's love interest, entrusted Kovu to her. Scar chose Kovu as the one who is next in line and who should be rightfully king after him. So, Zira, believing that Kovu is the rightful king, plots to kill Simba. The plan itself, oh, it's absolutely magnificent. Basically, when Kovu gets a bit older, she wants him to get close to Kiara and eventually get close with Simba for a chance to kill him. Zira then grooms Kovu to have all the Disney villain ideologies he would want to prepare him on this mission. In the movie, she does this while singing My Lullaby, which is kinda I don't really feel this song, sorry guys. It's definitely not the same as Be Prepared. Now that was something. Simultaneously, Simba teaches Kiara the idea of We Are One, accompanied by a song of the same name. That is basically the moral lesson of the story, and it will come to play an important part later. This directly opposes the ideals of the Outlanders of being superior and ruling over everyone. Simba teaches Kiara to learn and understand that we are all the same and part of a greater circle of life. This moment is kind of similar to the Great Kings of the Past scene in the original, because the two scenes are after the characters made a mistake and now their fathers are teaching them a valuable lesson. Fast forward, Kiara has now grown and is gonna go on her first solo hunting trip. She requests that Simba allows her to go on her own. Simba agrees, but later on has Timon and Pumbaa tailing her. Once the Outlanders see that Kiara is all alone, they finally start to initiate the plan. The furry Nazis then proceed to commit arson, engulfing Kiara and her hunting grounds to flames. Timon and Pumbaa go on to alert Simba and the lionesses. Meanwhile, a barely conscious Kiara is saved by none other than Kovu. Simba and the lionesses arrive at the scene where Kovu has already saved Kiara. Kovu announces to everyone that he is now a rogue and has left the Outlands. He then expresses his desire to be a part of Simba's pride. Oh hey, that's the title of the movie! Simba decides to enact upon his father's law, which means Kovu can in fact stay with the pride. Simba, however, still has some doubts and does not yet fully trust Kovu. Keyword, yet. Now that Kovu is a part of the pride, he and Kiara spend some time together. Then the MVP of the movie, Rafiki, makes his play. When Mufasa does some of the ghost airbending that he does, Mufasa reveals that the best outcome for the Pride Lands is for Kovu and Kiara to become lovers. So, by knowing this, Rafiki starts to act as a cupid of sorts. Kovu and Kiara have 2 love songs in the movie. This first one, Yupendi, is alright. It's just annoyingly catchy. After a while, Kovu starts to feel guilty for putting up this facade for Kiara and the rest. He decides to finally tell Kiara, but before he is able to, Simba pulls him aside. Simba finally wants to begin understanding and trusting Kovu. Unfortunately, as it just started happening, the Outlanders attacked and revealed that Kovu's job was done in luring out Simba. A furious Simba makes his escape and luckily makes it back to the Pride Lands injured. When Kovu returns, he's met with a very angry Simba. Simba as king makes his judgment and sentences Kovu to exile. As we see Kovu exiting the Pride Lands, an absolute banger of a song plays. Kovu's exile song, One of Us, is straight up the best song in this movie. This was a certified banger as a kid, and it still is as an adult. Kiara, saddened by her father's decision, leaves Pride Rock in search of Kovu. Meanwhile, the Outlanders decide to go on the offensive after Zira's son died in the recent attack. This sets up the climax of the movie where Zira and her furry Nazis take on Simba and the lionesses. And this fight, oh man, when I was a kid, I was damn terrified. Disney wasn't afraid of going all Animal Planet. No blood, of course. There was biting, scratching, everyone was catching fades. It was brutal. While that bloodbath was taking place, Kiara finally finds Kovu. Then they finally have their moment with their song, Love Will Find a Way. And this song, it gets you right in the feels. Can You Feel the Love Tonight, being in the original, is of course more iconic. But this, it stands on equal grounds. After their sweet montage, Kiara and Kovu look at their reflections on the pond, which is 2 halves of them forming into one. This is the moment where Kiara finally understands her father's lesson. She persuades Kovu that if they run away, the fighting won't end, so it's up to them to stop their prides from fighting. The 2 lovers rush to where the lions were fighting and wish to end it once and for all. Now, this is the only scene where I do have a nitpick. Kiara just pretty much goes up and says, "Hey guys, stop fighting! Can't you see? We're the same! We are one!" I mean, those simple sentences do get the idea across, but for being the resolution of the movie, they could have opted to go for a tad bit longer monologue or speech. And plus, Kiara would have insane aura if she did. Eventually, the Outlanders decide to stop being furry Nazis. Well, except for Zira. She still wants to take revenge and rule the Pride Lands, but because of her own ego, she dies. RIP. The movie ends with the converted Outlanders moving into Pride Rock, and now all the lions are together, or in better terms, they are all one. Then, everyone starts roaring, similar to how the first one ended. And that's Lion King 2. Overall, while not being nearly as iconic as the original, it's a damn good sequel, and equally deserves the spotlight. Mainstream media often disregards The Lion King 2, with only the niche fanbase glazing it. Well, it ain't glaze if it's true, because again, it's a good movie. They do a spectacular job in continuing Simba's story, from a little cub who's going to inherit a kingdom, and now that little cub is king with a family of his own. As overprotective as he is in the movie, it's actually pretty understandable and valid. Hell, I don't want to have a dollar in cahoots with Nazis. We also see him have a additional character arc, by at first not trusting Kovu because of his past and background, then later on accepting that the future generation can be better if raised properly, thus being separate from their past. While the movie writes Zira as a direct opposite to Simba, Zira purposefully ties Kovu to his past, saying that, "Oh, Scar chose you, be like Scar, you must be Scar's successor," and so on. This of course plays into her own downfall, with Kovu and the rest choosing the Pride Lands over her. Our four main characters are all well written, with Simba and Zira's arc mentioned, as well as Kovu and Kiara's story. Their love story actually flows off naturally, and they have really good chemistry with each other. I mean, we do get to spend more time with them than we did with Simba and Nala in the first one. Speaking of Nala, she barely did anything in this movie. She was in it for a total of a few minutes, and also had some lines, but she was not super important to the plot. The best side characters in this movie were hands down Timon and Pumbaa. They somehow managed to still have the same humor and fun to them like they did in the original, and they help a lot by taking a break when the plot gets dark, preventing it from being edgy. Like, thank God Kovu, with his given appearance, didn't get the Bart Simpson treatment. The songs and animation of the movie are also on par with the original. While The Lion King 2 didn't have the GOAT Hans Zimmer, the music was very enjoyable. It wasn't a bore or hassle whenever characters start singing. Instead, it was a pleasant surprise. They should have made this the live-action sequel for it to get more popular, but instead, they did a character assassination of Mufasa and Scar. However, that is a topic for another day. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that other stuff.